Big news for Bills Mafia the day after the initial 53-man was revealed. Jordan Poyer is signing with the Buffalo Bills this season, but as of right now, it is only a practice squad signing. We're going to break down this move by Brandon Beane and company in just a moment, but make sure you are subscribed to the Bills Breakdown. I had to bring you guys this video from my apartment today. Could not wait any longer to get you guys this content. So for all the Bills content all season long, we're going to be doing updates no matter what it is. Subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you never miss a moment around your Buffalo Bills. We'll also be live for every single Bills game. Sunday, Monday, Thursday, does not matter. All right, let's break down this signing here. Originally reported by Jordan Schultz, and the Bills bringing back Poyer here. It tells me one major thing, that Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, they're not all that comfortable with the current safety room and could be in the market for some reinforcements if need be, especially considering the room is, one, not all that skilled, but two, has been pretty banged up for a good portion of the offseason. We know that Cole Bishop was dealing with a quad injury for most of camp, only got to play in 2 preseason games, and that first one against Chicago, you could see him really trying to shake off the rust that he still had out there. And then Jordan Hancock, the Bills' late-round draft pick this past season, he suffers a shoulder injury in the preseason game against Chicago and misses the Tampa Bay finale, so he's been out for the last week or so. We know that Taylor Rapp has had an extensive injury history as well, and then Damar Hamlin is back there too. But Jordan Poyer, in his 4 seasons in Buffalo, he's played 16 games or more. Like, he was a true Iron Man out there. So this is a guy who you're going to depend upon to not really be on the shelf for too long here. He is 34 years old, though. So, like, the prospect of Jordan Poyer making a huge impact on the Bills this season is probably pretty low. Like, the likelihood of that happening isn't too high, but it's awesome to get a familiar face back there. This is a pretty similar move to when they went out and signed Micah Hyde last season. Now, that was more for a playoff push, and Hyde never actually suited up for the Bills in any regular season or playoff game. But I can see the similar thing happening here with Poyer. Like, does this Beane and company really want to put, or just the McDermott and company really want to put a 34-year-old Jordan Poyer back there and have the back line of the defense ride or die on him? I don't know if that's what they're looking to do right now, but if somebody goes down in that safety room, they have a familiar name who they could feel confident in coming into the lineup and not really missing a beat there. I will tell you this, I don't necessarily think that there's a huge gap at this point between Damar Hamlin and Jordan Poyer, so who knows, maybe Hamlin might end up on the practice squad at some point this season, and Poyer gets elevated to the 53-man roster if we see him have a couple miscues in coverage or what have you when the games start. So Poyer comes back here on a 1-year deal, and I just want to get some details here as we continue through today's show. Look, I mean, he joins a safety room that's very young and borderline very inexperienced as well, and hopefully he can give some veteran mentorship to a guy like Jordan Hancock, to a guy like a Cole Bishop who's entering his 2nd season, 1st year as a starter. I'm sure Poyer will have a lot of pointers and what have you for him. And Poyer wanted to come back to Buffalo. He has been saying throughout the past couple of months and early in the offseason that Buffalo is his home, and he wants this sort of fantasy storybook ending to ride out his career and finish it up in the 7-1-6. So I do love, of course, how much love Jordan Poyer has for Buffalo. Like, I know the fans embraced him for his entire tenure here, him and Micah up top, where you could argue with the best safety tandem in the NFL for a couple of seasons there, and obviously now those days are behind them, but it's good to see, at least the team culture of the Buffalo Bills stand for the test of time and have a guy like Poyer come back and want to come back. Like, we know for the longest time how undesirable Buffalo was as a free agent landing spot, or if a guy gets traded there or drafted there, they usually weren't spending their entire careers up in Buffalo. And I think Jordan Poyer goes out and signs with Miami. Look, it was an abysmal year with the Dolphins down there, but he ends up signing with Miami, and it was a year from hell for him. And maybe it was a little bit of a reality check that Father Time is knocking on the door, but he realized in his heart of hearts that where he wanted to be and where he belonged and who treated him the best throughout his entire NFL career was up in Buffalo. So he made the decision to come back here. Look, I don't think that he's going to make a crazy on-field impact, but what you're bringing him in here for is injury insurance and veteran mentorship in that safety room that you already have a bunch of young players in. We'll talk more about the Bills roster moves in just a moment, but guys, first get hooked up with our proud sponsor. That's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. And trust me, I don't want to be like a scammy false advertiser. I'll show you guys. I play this game and I play it a lot. I have won over $11,000 playing Prize Picks, and you can today. You can win up to 2,000 times your money in one swing of the bat watching your Buffalo Bills this season. For week 1 of the football season, Bills, Ravens, I got James Cook more than 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdown, and Josh Allen more than 31.5 rushing yards. Also have a free Dak Prescott square as well. So if you want to boost your lineups even more for free, go take Dak Prescott more than half a passing yard. You can tail my picks or fade them. Just do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. That's an awesome deal they're giving you as well. You don't have to win that entry to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. All that information is clickable in the comment section and description of today's video. All right, so the Bills put their roster down to 53 yesterday. Now bring a guy like Jordan Poyer onto the practice squad here, and the practice squad is getting sort of filled out. We heard a couple of names that were priority signings to the practice squad when they were cut yesterday. A couple names like Jimmy Charlo, Daquan Hardy are some names that the Bills are looking to bring back there on the P squad. I'm just looking through a couple more tidbits here as we get through this, this early morning Bills news roundup here. Obviously, Poyer coming back to town, and look, we could talk a little bit more about Poyer here because it's probably the biggest news story the Bills will have this week. But we'll see if he ends up ever getting elevated to that 53-man roster. A couple more names that I would presume might make that practice squad. We could see Ulofoshio potentially getting on there. He was cut, and he was a 5th-round pick back in 2024, so we'll see if they try to bring him back. Maybe some names like Christian Wilkerson could make that practice squad as well. There's a lot of moves the Bills could still make. Waiver claims are going to be out there today, so the Bills definitely could put in a claim for somebody that got cut from a 53-man roster. Frank Gore Jr. is also a huge name that I could see getting on the Bills practice squad here. I could see him getting picked up by somebody else, though, to get on their 53-man roster. The history that we've seen, though, with waiver claims is that there really isn't all that many that end up getting claimed at the end of the day. It's kind of blown out of proportion a little bit, and most guys end up passing through waivers and going back on the practice squads that originally cut them. So I don't expect too many Bills to get poached here, but Frank Gore Jr. is absolutely a name I could see getting poached because there's a lot of running back needy teams in the league, and he's absolutely a 53-man roster talent. So Jordan Poyer signs with Buffalo here. Grade this signing for me A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. He is back in Buffalo. Look, he's not going to be starting out there or anything like that, but I think Bills fans can be okay without a 34-year-old starting safety to shore up the back end of their defense. It's going to be interesting, man. CB2 is another big concern for Buffalo with Trey White getting activated on the 53-man roster. That does bode well for his week 1 availability, but I'm still not all that confident in the starting CB2 being Trey White. I know he's had an encouraging camp. I know he's familiar with the system, but he is definitely past his prime, and in the past season that we saw from him, and even the last one he had in Buffalo, was not all that encouraging. So it's good that he's healthy, and it's good that the Bills feel like they can rely upon somebody at that CB2 spot, but Maxwell Hairston cannot get back soon enough. I cannot wait to see the CB room of Taron Johnson, Christian Benford, and Maxwell Hairston all playing together. Would love Trey White as that CB4, CB5. Maybe someone of the young guys can kind of emerge as the season goes on. I would really appreciate if Trey White starting CB2 in week 1 was not starting CB2 come week 18 when Buffalo might be fighting for some sort of playoff seeding. But grade that signing of Jordan Poyer for me down in the comments section. A, B, C, D, or F, as that will do it for today's edition of the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. Give me a follow over on Twitter at Tyler J. Smith. There's 2 H's though at the end because the name's pretty common, but I am not. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/Bills News, for the most Bills coverage that you will get on YouTube all season long. Injury updates, game previews, the whole 9 yards, trade rumors. We'll be covering it all here on the Bills Breakdown. So subscribe, turn notifications on. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go Buffalo.